This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm back.
And this is Grant.
Grant, it's Friday. We made it. Woo! I'm so excited. How are you, sir?
I'm not as excited as you are because I still have a test to face today.
That's unfortunate. I have coffee, so
I hate test on Friday because you want to look forward to the weekend, and then your professor or teacher is just like, nope.
Yeah.
Test. Middle of the day.
Boo.
Have fun.
Middle of the day, too?
Middle of
it's
the
not
day.
even like to start or end your day. It's just middle of the day?
Well,
I think maybe...
I only have one class today, but I have
stop.
I have this first. So
Stop. Oh, because this is such a burden.
No, but it's not the start of my day. This is the start of my day.
Yes, thank you. This is how I start all my days.
Look at
Some
you.
way. Thank you. Well, I appreciate it, Grant. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in for a Friday edition of the Bax and Grant Sports Show. A little housekeeping before we get started today. No Connor Christensen today. He is off busy doing real important professional things with his life today. But he will be back again on Monday. He decided to choose his career over the show. Well, I mean...
So rude.
So rude. Come on, Connor. This is my life. This is what... No, it's fine. I understand that. So he will be back again on Monday.
It was very important for him. So
it is.
We'll miss him, but we'll see him on Monday.
Yes, he'll be here in spirit. Hi, Connor. Hi, nice to see you. Anyway, sorry. We had a nice little moment with Ghost Connor. But anyway, before we get into our show today, Grant, where can the good people find us on social media?
They can find us on Facebook at the Bax and Grant Sports Show. Mm-hmm. You can head over on Twitter and tweet us at BG Sports Show. You can Instagram us at the Bax Grant Sports Show using that hashtag. And if you use that hashtag, it will show up on Sports Radio America.
Yes, indeed.
You can also email us at Gmail at bgsportshow@gmail.com.
Yes, that's very exciting. If you did not notice, Grant, you did notice, of course, but a few days ago we released our new logo for the Bax and Grant Sports Show. It's officially on our Facebook and Twitter pages, so you can go and check that out. A huge thank you to our good friend Jonathan Lewinsky for that. So give him a big shout out as well on the air. So thank you, John. We're going to be getting some merchandise for that this coming weekend. So we'll show you what it looks like once we finally get it. But we also have another big announcement, Grant. Would you like to tell the good people what it is?
We are now officially through Spreaker. We have another platform now, and you might have heard of this platform.
Little thing.
Small little platform. It is iHeartRadio, actually. Spreaker and iHeartRadio are teamed up, and we are now on Spreaker.
Woo!
We are on iHeartRadio now. You can also find us on... Sports Radio America, that's the website I was thinking of. Live 365, you can download our show on iTunes. Mm-hmm. You can also tune in at TuneIn.
Well done. I see what you did there.
Yeah. And I think
that's
I got all of them.
That's
wow.
The many entities that you can listen to us
I
on.
never do the platform
I know,
thing, so
I'm
I was
so proud.
ooh, I gotta listen.
I was pushing you out of the nest today, Grant. I'm like, fly, Grant, fly, you can do it.
I just was kind of like, I got this. You let me announce it, so I'm just gonna go. Also, you can find us on theCUBE, and you can watch the show instead of if you just like listening to our beautiful radio voices. You can look at our beautiful radio faces. So,
is that how that works?
Yeah, that's how that works.
Okay,
just go to theCUBE and type in the Bax and Grant Sports Show. And if you can't just find the page of us, you can go and type in the Bax and Grant Sports Show number 56, because this is our 56th episode.
Yes, indeed.
And it should pop up on there.
My, how the time flies. I love it.
I remember when we were just measly two young lads.
We were...
with a laptop.
With a laptop a fortnight ago. Well, more than a fortnight ago. But either way, Grant, time flies when you're having fun, especially in the big city of Chicago, where the NFL draft will be taking place this next week. We'll get to the Blackhawks and the NHL a little bit later on in the show. But everything else is business as normal today. Intern Laura will be here, so we're excited for that. We're going to start off our first segment talking about the NFL draft, Grant, and the big debate... Everybody pretty much knows, I know his name, Jamarcus Russell, yeah, that's him. No, Jameis Winston, that's the real guy I'm looking for. Jameis Winston is more than likely going number 1 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's almost a given. People are like, you know what?
I don't even know if that's almost a given.
I think it's pretty much a given,
I don't think so.
As much as it pains me to say that he's going number 1, which I don't think he should be drafted at all, because I think his off-field issues are atrocious and should not allow him to play in the NFL by and by, regards of all of that. I think that Marcus Mariota now is the next focal point of, okay, where does he go? Because, realistically, Tennessee, they need a quarterback at number 2. And everybody is saying, well, okay, that makes sense. The Titans should draft a quarterback. They had only Zach Mettenberger and Charlie Whitehurst to their name now since Jake Locker sporadically retired during, during the NFL free agency signing period. So now the real question is, okay, Tennessee, we should draft Marcus Mariota. But now the rumors are coming out, maybe they're going to trade for Phillip Rivers. So then the real question is, if Phillip Rivers or somebody else ends up in Tennessee, who now takes Mariota?
Well, I'm actually going to just stick first and say that I think it's still a question. I don't think the Bucs would necessarily pick up Jameis Winston. I think they might change their mind. They're probably not going to because the organization is awful. Mm-hmm. Sorry if there's any Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, but I wouldn't draft him.
I think they'd be the first to tell you that their organization is not as good as it used to be.
Well, I guess.
The John Gruden era is over.
And honestly, with a player with that many off-field issues, especially like this past week, I believe it was, with the sexual harassment, abuse charges, whatever you want to call them, that just came out. Yes, we don't have, and I'm a big guy with saying it needs to go through the court system and everything needs to check out and everything, and I believe he has been able to clear his name of most of that stuff, but I don't know about recently.
Yes.
So I'm still questionable on him, but I think the Buccaneers should definitely look into this a little more. Now, going over with Marcus Mariota, yes, the Chargers are definitely an option, especially because Phillip Rivers is very concerned about moving to LA. I think that is legitimate. LaDainian Tomlinson came out and said about him that he thinks that his move to LA would be a concern to him. He believes that. He also thinks he's lost faith in the team over the years because who wouldn't? They've made it pretty close. They made it to the playoffs almost every year. They didn't make it last year, and they seem to pop up in the playoffs, but they're never a huge contender. And Phillip Rivers we all know, he's one of the most competitive people in the game.
He is. He's underrated in a lot of areas.
He is. And I believe that if he stays with the Chargers for his whole career, he will never see the Super Bowl. Because I don't think he's ever seen the Super Bowl, to my knowledge.
No, he never has. And he's one of those quarterbacks where you want him to do well because he's generally a nice guy. You've never heard any real controversy about Phillip Rivers or his family or just his off-field life, or even he hasn't done too much to really make a lot of people mad on the field either. Right. Now, the Chargers have made some good playoff runs in the recent years, but they're that kind of AFC team where it's like, hey, we're good enough to make it to at least the second round of the playoffs, but we're not good enough to get past Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. And that's usually the roadblock you run into in the AFC. And you will continue to for at least the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. And another possibility to pick up Marcus Mariota moving on is the Cleveland Browns have been thrown into the mix. They've been because they have 2 first-round draft picks, the 12th and the 19th pick. So people have been saying that instead of giving up a player, you just give up 2 first-round draft picks to move up to the number 2 spot and pick up Marcus Mariota. Now, I could see that because I am not a big Johnny Manziel fan. I know you are, though, Baxter. Not a big Johnny Manziel fan. You have more faith in him than I do.
I suppose.
But even though you're the big off-field, he has off-field issues. He shouldn't be.
That's why I'm not
like
on
with
the train
Jameis
anymore.
Winston. And then, so how would you feel with the Browns if they picked up Marcus Mariota? And who would you think they would start? Because Johnny Manziel is now out of rehab.
He is,
and he is able to play. Now, who do you think that the Browns go with if they do move up in the draft and pick up Marcus Mariota?
If they do move up to get Mariota, in all honesty, I feel like drafting him would be a smart idea. And I think it would be very difficult to call that because we got such a small sampling of what Johnny Manziel was capable of last season. He was thrown in at the end of the season. He had 2 games. If you look at the conditions for one of the 2 games he played, and he basically played in a hurricane. Like it was a wet game. He had 0 grip on the ball. He threw, I think, 2 or 3 interceptions. He pretty much hurt himself from the second he stepped on the field because he wasn't accustomed to the speed of the game, and playing with a wet ball makes life 10 billion times more difficult. In that regards, if he actually gets an opportunity to compete for the starting job in the beginning of the year with Marcus Mariota, you could possibly run a few different offensive schemes to get both of them on the field and run a lot of different systems with both of them because they're both mobile quarterbacks. It's hard to say who's got the better arm or the better accuracy. Maybe Mariota. I haven't seen the two next to each other in comparison. There's a no.
Now, another question for you. Do you think that Cleveland is actually a pretty good shot in moving up? They have the pieces in place. Do you think they're actually going to do that?
Well, they sit with 2 first-round draft picks, and in that regard, you almost want to do that. I mean, it depends on what Cleveland's draft needs are. I know that they're looking for a quarterback. I know that they're looking for more offensive weapons as a whole because their defense is actually not too bad.
Right.
People forget about Joe Hayden at their corner spot to really shut down kind of corner. He's only been in the league a handful of years. Maybe a pass rusher you want to go out and get for the defense to kind of help things out, but then go find another offensive weapon because Josh Gordon is more than likely never going to play another snap in the NFL with as many times as he keeps getting suspended. If you're going to have a quarterback like that you bring in, why not draft a wide receiver? Or why not bring in somebody that is going to help execute the offense in an effective and highly efficient way?
So are they going to take Mariota? Would they try to move up and take Mariota?
If I'm the Browns, I think you don't need to take Mariota. I think you take your 2 draft picks and you go get offensive help.
Well, I was thinking the same exact thing.
Oh, good.
So I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
No, I don't know why you need why you need Mariota because Manziel and Mariota are kind of the same person. Yes, they're a little different. I get that. Calm down. But at the same time, their playing styles are very similar, and they operate a lot of ways the same.
Or you could try to do this. This might be a little sketchy, though. You could trade and this is all just speculation and whatnot. You could possibly just go ahead, trade your first-round draft picks for Tennessee. If they take it, you draft Mariota. Now you have Mariota and Manziel. You play both of them, see how they work out. You may be able to use at least one of them to trade for an offensive weapon.
Yes.
Depending how well they do, and that's a risk because you don't know. Like these college prospects coming out. Johnny Manziel is the last one for Cleveland, and so far he hasn't been working out too well. So that could be a risk. That could be something else, though, that is a possibility for them. And then one quick thing I also want to say that's a possibility that has been floating around is that the Washington Redskins go and pick up a 5th overall pick.
Which is not a bad idea.
Trade their 69th third-round draft pick or their 69th overall third-round draft pick, and then go pick up Mariota, which I found extremely interesting considering that Robert Griffin III is on that team. And he was a big prospect a couple years ago. He played well, and then this last year, he looked atrocious.
He did. I think a lot of that goes back to just how damaging that knee injury was that he had in the playoffs. He played through basically having half of a knee. Like, he had to get massive surgery on that in the offseason, came back, and has never been the same ever since. And you learn that as a mobile quarterback after a while, that you can't break outside the pocket and run for, 150 to 200 yards a game because you're going to get hurt. And we saw that. The Redskins' offensive line was not strong enough to give him solid protection in the pocket, so he had to break out and make plays with his feet, and that eventually led to him getting hurt.
Right. And that's why I like him kind of sketchy with running quarterbacks, is because you have running back for a reason.
Yes.
And quarterbacks, you wear less padding so you can throw the ball. You still wear padding, but you, like as an offensive lineman, you wear way more than you would a quarterback.
Of course,
or a running
you also have
back,
a little bit more padding within yourself as a physical person.
True.
Yes. I get your point, though, with the mobile quarterback. I think, if anything, I like, and this is not biased, but I like a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, who's not a mobile quarterback, but he's not Peyton Manning, where he doesn't run at snail speed. If Rodgers needs to scoot out and get up out of the pocket real quick for 5 or 6 yards, he can do it at a relatively decent speed without having to break ankles to do it.
And that's one that analyzers of the game have gone in and raved about Aaron Rodgers. Yes, his pinpoint accuracy, his security with the ball, his power. But one huge thing about Aaron Rodgers is that he can extend the play.
Yes.
That's one thing that they rant about him over and over and over again. He can get out of the pocket, and he has a good relationship with his wide receivers that they can break out, change the route, and you see it time and time again with Jordy Nelson is that he makes a little decision in his route. Rodgers extends the plays, throws deep down the field, and they get a touchdown, or he can pick up 10 yards if you need to.
Yeah, we've seen that more than once.
Yeah, we've seen him pick up a couple touchdowns. That's where the championship belt came from, and he's done that time and time again. But at the same time, he has gotten injured. I'm not going to say because of that, because I think he's been in the pockets most times he's been injured. But a couple of times when he's ran, I remember in the playoffs, there was almost a scare.
Yes.
So running quarterback's a little scary
It's
sometimes.
an anomaly, yes.
Right.
It's hard to fully know. I mean, you look at back to, before we move on to our next, I mean, you look at the guys like Michael Vick, who really perfected the art of a running quarterback.
True.
He changed the game.
I think he was the first big one. He was the first big one that did
and
that.
you can make arguments for Randall Cunningham and Warren Moon as well back in the day, but I think Michael Vick was that first real running quarterback where you were more worried about him running the ball than his arm. He had an okay passing motion, but Michael Vick, back in the day for Atlanta when they were scary in the early 2000s, his feet were his real weapon, and he made people pay.
Now getting off topic a little bit, and I know we want to get to
off topic.
I know we want to get to our next segment, but an interesting question for you.
Okay.
With Michael Vick, and he was thrown into a new situation, and defenses didn't really know how to handle him.
Yep.
In today's world, where we've already seen running quarterbacks, is Michael Vick as successful as he was?
No, well, a lot of that is because Father Time is against him. Vick
if he was young, like 20 years old today.
The game's faster than it was. Because up until, we even saw that happen when Colin Kaepernick ripped off those major runs against the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs and just ran the read option effectively for about a year. Teams are capable of actually understanding, how to play defense against that because no one had ever really tried that. Sure, quarterbacks had gotten out of the pocket and ran before, but not designed plays where quarterbacks were going to run the ball. It's like, oh, he's actually willingly keeping it and running at me as a defender. Like, now that the league has kind of officially figured that out, if this was Michael Vick coming out of college or a year or two in the league, he reminds me a lot of an RG3 kind of a guy where it's like,
right.
Okay, he's quick on his feet, but I'm just worried that he's going to get destroyed if he tries to get out and run out of the pocket on too many occasions.
Right.
So I don't think he would succeed as his old prime in today's game.
Right, I agree with you.
Okay, awesome. Well, Grant, before we go to a quick break, we wanted to quickly touch on some interesting NFL news. Greg Hardy, in the offseason, was originally a Carolina Panther, and then he was released as a free agent and now plays for the Dallas Cowboys, and he signed a very nice $13 million deal with them. Unfortunately, the NFL has come down and slapped a 10-game suspension on Hardy for all of his off-the-field issues that he was suspended from the league originally. I believe it was aggravated assault. I don't know the exact title, but from everything that I've heard, the synopsis is that he was basically beating his girlfriend and was not very polite to her in many different actions. This is a family show, so I will not jump into too many things to it. But basically, another report I heard is that when he was doing all this to her, he had the bed that they were hanging out on, and he threw her down on the bed, and it was covered with guns. He had his artillery sitting on the bedroom bed. Is that repetitive? I don't know. But yes, he had lots of guns. The man is loaded. He's got tons of money to his name, and he was basically abusing his wife and was...
Girlfriend or wife?
I think it was girlfriend. I think you're right. I'm sorry. He was abusing his girlfriend and just was not doing very nice things to her. And the NFL eventually was like, okay, we'll suspend you for a while. That's fine. But these are this type of stories that do not get talked about as much. Oh, Adrian Peterson. Oh, big name in the NFL. Let's talk about that and blow that out of proportion. Whatever. You look at the other big one. I can't think of who it was now. Ray Rice.
There you go.
Talk about that one as well for the domestic abuse, But with Greg Hardy, it happened for a little bit and then it faded away because he's not a bigger name. Now he's kind of coming up because he got the bigger deal with Dallas and the fact that he now has his 10-game suspension. Everyone's like, oh, Greg Hardy, sure, yeah, let's talk about him now. He did arguably worse than what Ray Rice did. I don't think he didn't knock his girlfriend out, but even still,
right,
the things that he was doing or allegedly doing, it's not acceptable by any means.
Well, the thing is that why people are talking about it a lot is that he was not found guilty in court, but the big thing is because his girlfriend just dropped it completely.
Yes.
Now you have to take into account, is there fear-mongering involved? But I'm not going to get into that. I'm big in... You have to wait for what the court system says, but then you have to see that the league also got in their hands a video of what they were able to see. And I've had problems in the past with the NFL saying, okay, even though the courts are fine with it, we are not fine with it, you're getting suspended. But we saw that was overturned by the courts in Adrian Peterson's case. Mm-hmm. But in this case, there is actual video evidence, and they saw and they took it into their mind and suspended him. So for me, I actually agree for once in my entire life with Roger Goodell and his decision.
No, I agree. I think it should be suspended for at least 10 games, if not more, but I also think that they should be punished by a normal justice system, not an NFL bias system. Anyway,
there's a whole different bunch of regulations.
We'll have to bring in our lawyers and have them figure that out. Anyway, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, a lot of stuff happening in the wide world of Major League Soccer, and a big name, Cristiano Ronaldo, might be coming to an MLS stadium near you in the near future. This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
Well, Grant, in our first segment, we were chatting a lot about the NFL, but we did make a few exciting announcements as well, which were what again?
Oh, took me a little while to think about that. I was like, hump day? No.
No, it's Friday. Friday!
It's Friday.
Great. Guess what day it is?
What day is it?
It's Friday! There's nothing for Friday. TGIF, maybe? I'm not sure.
I didn't know that was a restaurant for the longest time. But anyway.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we are now officially on iHeartRadio.
Yes, we are.
So you can find us through Spreaker or iHeartRadio or Live 365 or TuneIn or Sports Radio America or download on iTunes. We are all over the place.
Yes.
Or the Cube.
You can watch us on the Cube. If you go to our Facebook page right now, there is a link posted for you. I finally figured out how modern technology works, so it's a beautiful thing. You can go right now to our Facebook page and watch the show, or you can go back and watch it once you're done here as well. So a lot of fun stuff happens. On the Cube, it shows you a different side of us. You can make comments about how we are as people, and then talk about intern Laura's hair when she comes on later, too. Which is a good thing. It's a good thing. Easy, everybody.
Calm down.
I like her hair.
I like it too.
Yeah. I was looking at our pictures from the photo shoot we did a few weeks ago. I'm like, who's the blonde? I'm like, oh, Laura. That's who that is. I'm like, I don't know who this girl is. I'm like, because then I see her and I'm like, oh, wait, what?
Laura.
Maybe it's like her twin. Maybe she is a twin.
Oh.
Ooh, is this the good twin or the bad twin?
But she's a Brewers fan.
So?
Not a Twins fan.
Jokes. Sports jokes. Get out. Anyway, Grant, Major League Soccer as a whole continues to roll on. They are entering their 8th week of play. It's been a lot of fun stuff happening so far in the league. My New England Revolution sitting in 3rd right now in the Eastern Conference. Yes, they're my team. We need to find you a team, Grant. Chicago's got a team.
Nope.
St. Louis has a semi-pro team.
That's my team.
Oh, my God.
That is my team.
St. Louis, whoever you are, I forget who they are. Oh, shoot. I forget
something
your name.
FC.
Probably. I think it is actually St. Louis FC, in all honesty. Either way, you got Grant. He's your number one fan. He'll buy season tickets
or
tomorrow.
SC, one of the two.
It's probably F. Because Orlando does have SC, which is... not going to get into that. It's just pick one. It's FC, CF. People will do CF as well. Club football. Instead of football club.
This is why I watch hockey.
Yeah, you the Canadiens and the Calgary Flames. You guys can't pronounce English over there.
Fine, fair. It's fair.
Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, Grant, running through some of the standings quick in the Eastern Conference. The New York Red Bulls only have played 5 games this year, but they are the only undefeated team in Major League Soccer right now. A big showing. Now, some people are arguing why they're rated number 1 in certain power rankings because they've only played 5 games, and you look at another team like the Vancouver Whitecaps who have played 8 games, 5 of which they've won. So, in that regards, Vancouver has 5-2-1, but New York is 3-0-2. How exactly can you make an argument saying that the Red Bulls are the best team in the league?
It's just power rankings. They're not important. Get over it. That's my 2 cents about
Fair
it.
enough. Well done, Grant. Well done.
I said something about soccer.
I'm so proud.
You heard it here first.
Yes, you did. On the Bax and Grant Sports Show, live, Grant's talking about soccer. But yeah, looking through the Supporters' Shield race right now, the Vancouver Whitecaps with a clear number 1 spot with 16 total points. Yes.
Question:
Grant.
What's a supporter shield?
It's yay, soccer questions.
Is it like the president's
It's the President's Trophy.
Okay,
yes,
got
the
it.
team with the best record and points at the end of the season wins a separate, like the league trophy.
Gotcha.
And then they go to the playoffs, and then you can win that.
Gotcha.
There's an opportunity to win 3 trophies throughout the year. You can win the U.S. Open Cup, which is the tournament for all North American soccer teams to play. It's not just MLS. There's the USL Pro. There's the NASL. It's like the different tiers of American soccer. All those people.
North American, like including.
I'm sorry, just US of A.
Okay.
Well, and Canada because they're in MLS. I'm over it. I'm not cool about that. Anyway, you can't. I'm sorry. You can't have an American soccer league with Canada teams.
Well, it happens in
I know.
the NHL.
I know. I'm just saying.
But it's the National Hockey League, not
Yeah,
the International
I
Hockey
know.
League.
But
Anyway.
So there's the U.S. Open Cup, which all teams get to play in. You can win the Supporters' Shield race, and then you can win the MLS Cup trophy as well, which is the normal playoff trophy. So there's 3 possible trophies that you can
Gotcha.
win. So right now, the Vancouver Whitecaps, like we said, are sitting in first. FC Dallas at 2, New York Red Bulls 3, and the LA Galaxy at 4 in terms of overall points. So we'll see with some upcoming games this weekend how people are going to shift around in the standings. The big game, the New York Red Bulls taking on the LA Galaxy at Red Bull Arena. Robbie Keane and the LA Galaxy marching in to take on Bradley Wright Phillips and the New York Red Bulls in. Yes, something very similar to that. Now, an interesting story coming out, Grant. You are well aware who this gentleman is. The man's name is Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you at least know who that is?
I know who that is.
Well done, Grant. You're halfway there.
He's not the biting guy, because that's Luis Suarez,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Oh, soccer knowledge.
Do you know who Luis Suarez plays for?
I know what their shirts look like, but I don't know the name of it.
It's the name of a city in Spain.
It's Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Got it.
Barcelona. Even intern
Barcelona.
Laura knew who that was. Do you know, for extra points, for bonus points, Grant,
I won't get this right.
how many times has Luis Suarez reportedly bit somebody on a soccer field?
Okay, so it was 2 times before the World Cup, and then he bit somebody in the World Cup, and I'm pretty sure he bit somebody this year, right? Was it? It's 3 or 4.
It's 4.
Woo! Got it.
Between 3 and 4, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
Still not sure how that wasn't a card in the World Cup. They
didn't see it.
The Italian players going up to the ref saying, "Look, bite marks, Mira, bite marks."
I mean,
like, I don't know what I would take a wine bottle and smack the ref upside the head and be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Look at the bite marks here." That sounds like a New Yorker. Either way, that's some Italian New Yorkers there. Either way, but the exciting news for Major League Soccer fans, depending on how you look at it, is Cristiano Ronaldo has come out and stated that once his contract with Real Madrid is over, see, like that Real Madrid product placement. It's officially
go check out the Cube to see what we're talking about.
Go to the Cube so you don't make it sound like I'm just super weird. Anyway, he has stated that once his contract with Real Madrid is over in 2018, he will be coming to Major League Soccer to finish out his career. Now, he has stated he will play for one of the 2 Los Angeles clubs. That makes sense, the LA Galaxy or the new expansion club, LAFC. Not even going to get into that whole issue of the rebranding of anyway. So it's going to be interesting to see what club he chooses, because you think of the LA Galaxy, that's where David Beckham used to play for when he came over to Major League Soccer.
What happened with him?
He retired.
Oh, okay.
He played 5 years in Major League Soccer, won 2 MLS Cups, I think.
Because I remember seeing like commercials about British people being all sad, and then him coming over to America, and then that's like the last I heard of him.
There was commercials about
there
British
was
people weeping in the streets.
Actual weeping. There
It's
was people
always
crying.
raining in Britain. How are you supposed to know if they're actually kind of like Seattle?
There was like women with mascara dripping down their face because Beckham laughed. There were actual
He
commercials
wasn't
like
even
that.
playing in England at that time when he left. He left Real Madrid to come here, which is in Spain.
Okay, I didn't know. I was like
Soccer.
No,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Either way, though, for Ronaldo to come over, Fansided.com, one of our many partners that we'd love to chat about, one of their writers, Josh Criswell, said that there was 3 reasons why Ronaldo's move to MLS is a good thing. Now, one of the main reasons is the fact is that Father Time is calling. By this time, Ronaldo is 30 years old at this present moment. In 3 years, obviously, he'll be 33. But the fact that he keeps his body in absolutely perfect condition is a sure factor that he will continue to be able to come over and be able to play a few more seasons here in Major League Soccer and succeed at a high level. The man is an absolute machine. He can score goals from literally anywhere on the field, and he's not scared to shoot the ball. He loves it. He dances. He's got some flair. Another reason is that he could also help build a brand new legacy. We mentioned LAFC. They are the newest one of the newest expansion teams in Major League Soccer. They will be opening their doors, as it were, in 2018. Why not bring in one of the best players ever to have played the game and say, hey, be our poster boy for a while? He would go from being famous in Europe to being famous in the United States more than he already is now. And why not help start a brand new club? That's a possibility. It would be good for the sport as a whole. And then the final one is that he can also help build, like we just said, LAFC into a potential powerhouse. Why not bring in one of the best players in the world? Sure, he'll be 33, but the fact is that he stays healthy over the next 3 years. Yes, that'll be a World Cup year when he comes over, so we'll see kind of how that works out with being a 2018 World Cup. He'll still be on the team. But will he be able to be as productive as we've seen in the last few seasons? And will he be able to help build a legacy in LAFC if he decides to play for them? He might just go play for the Galaxy. He might not want to have to start from the ground up. It just kind of depends. As a player coming over, if you were Ronaldo, Grant, would you rather go to an established club or would you rather be the focal point or a poster boy for a new expansion club?
Well, I would want to be a part of the team that would win, especially at the end of the career after
That's
you
true.
put in like a lot of work, and you would want to surround yourself with better players so you could just destroy everybody. So I probably would go with the LA Galaxy over a new team that
Sure.
would just be building.
No,
They might
that's
not
a
have
fair,
the best players.
That's a very fair argument, in all honesty. I mean, it really kind of depends. Let us know your thoughts about it, too. You can shoot us an email at bgsportshow@gmail.com or shoot us a tweet at bgsportshow. We love knowing your thoughts and opinions about anything we talk about during the show. We talked about Mariota, Marcus Mariota in the first segment. Where do you think he's going to end up? Is he going to go to the Titans, or is he going to fall somewhere else to Cleveland or the San Jose Sharks or some other random team? No, I'm just...
Definitely the Sharks.
Yeah, I think that the Arizona Coyotes should really pick him up.
They really need him.
They really do. Maybe that's what they need, is they need a quarterback. Anyway, let us know your thoughts about all of that as we continue to move through our show today. Remember, we are on theCUBE. You can check us out there if you are listening to us live right now. Go to our Facebook page right now, and you can click on the live link and see what's going on with that. All right, Grant. You can see Grant's jazz hands throughout the show, which
And
is
all that jazz.
yeah, it's a beautiful song. I love it.
I know. We mentioned it 3 times in the last 3 shows now. I think every show this week we've sang that song. at
What's
least
wrong
once.
with that? There's nothing wrong with Chicago.
that. Nothing wrong.
I'm a huge Chicago fan. In
I'm not.
musical terms.
Oh, Chicago. Okay.
Musical terms.
I was
Grant.
like,
easy.
in what way?
Easy. I mean, I have a Chicago.
That'd be fighting words.
The only Chicago tie I have to anything is I used to play for the Chicago Fire Soccer Academy in Florida. So I've got a jacket that says Chicago Fire on it. And everyone's like, "You're a Fire fan?" I'm like, no. I'm like, then why do you wear the jacket? Because I used to play for them. And they're like, oh. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, moving on.
The organization. I was on the Chicago Fire.
Yes, I built Toyota Park with my bare hands. That's what it was. Anyway, Grant, time for your rant. All right, Grant, we've got a little bit of a new format for our show today. I'm just going to pretend that everything's fine. I'm not even going to bother that intern Laura's falling as we, behind the camera. She just like... Anyway, Grant, the way it's going to work today is that we've got your normal 30 seconds on the clock for you, but we're going to allow you an additional... It'll be a minute total is what you're going to have, but it'll be 30 seconds to do your rant, and then 30 seconds to actually digest and breathe and really think about what you just said and offer more thoughts.
Now, I hope I'll be able to do this well. But the reason why we're doing this is because I've had segments sometime where I could talk 5 minutes about it, and I have 30 seconds to cram 5 minutes of information into. So
no, you're very much right, and we feel bad about that. So we were able to chat about everything with our executives and say, hey, we got to give Grant a little bit more spotlight because now he doesn't talk much during the show. We want him to be able to have a little bit more spotlight.
I'm embarrassed by my voice.
He's not a people person. It's okay.
I don't like people.
It's okay. We still love you no matter what. All right, Grant. A minute on the clock. So I'll give you the little to tell you to stop ranting, just so you at least know. But then you can keep going, and I'll officially hard stop you with a minute. Okay.
All right.
All right. On your mark, sir. Get set and go.
Ohio State this season has just had almost 100,000 people come to watch a preseason scrimmage. Absolutely crazy. And that has been happening around the Big Ten. Michigan has been getting involved. The Penn State, I believe, and a couple other teams. And now it's been rivaling the SEC. And the SEC
the SEC.
The SEC is getting a little worried because people are infringing on their space. And the SEC has also been saying that Ohio State and other teams are coming down and stealing their players, stealing their prospects, are coming and scouting in that area.
Time's up for that part.
I was looking at the clock.
Time's up. Yeah, you're good.
And so it was really funny because I was reading an article and it says SEC outrage by Big Ten coming in and getting all up in their business. That's not the official name of the article, but it was really funny to see ESPN is interested by it and actually talking positively about the Big Ten. My head almost exploded, but when I saw the article, I was so mad because SEC is like, oh,
Time's
you're
up.
in our business.
I can just see. I see the headline now. SEC mad at Big Ten for all up in their business.
But it's come on. The Big Ten has every right to being down in the South.
Get over it, SEC. The tides are changing. Big Ten for days.
Let's
go.
The article on ESPN, if you go to NCAA football and click on the homepage, that's the first article, and it's talking about how tides are changing to the Big Ten. Woo!
Yes, let's
I'm
go.
I'm so excited.
I
can't wait for the next 5 years of college football.
I'm excited for college basketball. The landscape is changing as well, so we'll see with that. All right,
Big
we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, intern Laura will be ready to roll for us with her thingamabopper. Going to head on the NHL playoffs as well because Grant is a little upset about some of the things happening, but at the same time,
I'm still happy.
The Blues coming from behind to take a big win last night. Tie the series up. We'll get into that and
last
so much
night,
more.
coming from behind, he's wrong. But anyway.
Either way, the Blues, it's 2-2 in the series now. It's irrelevant. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got the beautiful and talented intern Laura. Don't go anywhere. This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
All right, Grant, our segments so far have included a little bit about the NFL, I'm from Canada now, the NFL, the CFL. But we chatted a little bit about the NFL draft and Marcus Mariota, and then we chatted about Cristiano Ronaldo, the golden boy for Portugal, possibly coming to Major League Soccer in the year 2018. But that all is irrelevant now because we have a beautiful and talented person standing in between us, Grant. You know who that is?
Who is that?
That would be intern Laura.
Aww.
You guys are so sweet.
Isn't she cute? I just love her. I'm so glad that she's on our show.
Aww.
I'm married. I can't say nice things otherwise.
I'm not married, but I will be shortly. But you can say
No
nice
one's
things.
gonna-
It was a joke.
I'm waiting for our wives to come in and be like, "What did you say?
What did you say about Laura?
Like, nothing at all.
Tell me I'm pretty.
You have
Wow.
a child. You're fine. You're absolutely fine.
Who's gonna tell me I'm pretty when you guys are when you're married?
I will
You're already
still-
married. I don't expect it from you. What was that?
We're off
something-
to a great
that
start.
something
This
I
is
should
like
not have said?
This is like a bad Spanish novela. Be like, you never loved me, Luis. Oh, yes, Juan. Yes, I did. No, Maria. Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm just throwing out any Spanish names I could think of. Anyway, Laura, time for your thingamabopper, as we normally do on Friday.
Yeah.
Wednesday, we talked about worm charming.
We did.
An interesting
we did indeed
segment.
for Earth Day.
We did, and then a few days last Friday, you gave us Jimmy the Jumper.
Yeah, Jimmy the Jumper.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that guy.
The
He was
streaker.
cool. I
He
like
was
that
really
guy.
But he
cool.
doesn't streak naked. He streaks with a shirt on.
It's pretty cool.
It is. But I'm sure you've got something even
No,
cooler.
I have something extremely exciting for you today. Well, I think it's exciting. I
That's
think
all
it's
that matters.
really cool.
That's all
okay.
that matters.
It's called the Four Deserts Race. Have you heard of this before?
Sounds like the new movie that's coming out, the Mad Road or Mad Max or something like that, where they just like shoot each other. And have you seen that?
What
Not-
movie? Like that's
like-
every movie they
It's,
Any
it's
action
like
movie.
this desert storm, like
Okay, no, this is completely,
okay.
completely
Is it
different.
nobody
this is a
dies,
sport.
hopefully.
Possibly.
Oh Lord.
Okay,
Not
well,
you.
this is called the Four Deserts Race, and what it is a 155-mile race
Ah.
over the course of 7 days. 7 days. And, yeah. But the thing about this is that it takes place in 4 deserts. The first desert is in Chile, the second one in China, the third one in Egypt. So, and the fourth one,
China
finally,
has a desert.
I guess so.
Where?
You wouldn't know it. I guess it's
Look it up.
the driest desert. And the hottest one is in Egypt. And, of course, the last one is Antarctica that they race.
Sounds like a really sweet Need for Speed race.
It does.
Just saying.
You're not in like a nice warm car
What are you
in
in?
Antarctica. Like
Oh,
now
I know.
you've just got your little backpack on, which has all your food in it,
Yes.
and then you're running for
Oh,
6-7 days.
you're
running.
You're not in
It's
a car?
not a car.
You're not in a car. You're
Oh,
running.
Well, then this sounds awful. I was like, in a
155
car?
miles.
Sign
Why?
me up.
Why?
Sign me up.
Who needs the Amazing Race? I'm going to go on the 4 deserts.
The Amazing
that
Race is a
crazy?
fantastic show. Do not
I'm
mock
not
it.
dogging it. My fiance wants to go on the Amazing Race. one
And
of
so
these
does
days.
my wife.
My boyfriend loves that show too.
He's not important. Well, our,
He's a Cowboys
our
fan.
wives will be teamed up, and then Baxter and I will take them on and
Get him
crush
on,
them.
and then we'll see
Let's
Laura.
go.
And we'll be like, "Oh, it's Laura, crush her."
No,
we wouldn't do
no,
that.
no,
Throw her into the river.
Cut her rope. No, we wouldn't do that.
I don't get the jokes because I haven't seen the show. Cut the rope. What does that mean?
It's like they
I just-
sometimes rock climb and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
or like
wow.
climb places with rope.
Yes.
You should watch the show. It's a fantastic show.
I don't
Maybe
have
this
time.
is what I'll take my fiance on for our honeymoon. I know we're supposed to go to Florida, but that's like,
Yeah,
It's so
Amazing
like,
Race is so much better.
Yeah, no, I'll take her on the 4 deserts race.
That's really cool.
Perfect.
That's multi-continental. We get to see beautiful landscape, spend
But
some
sand?
quality time together. She wants to go to the beach. There'll be sand.
I feel like it could end very horribly.
No.
Just like, and if you lose, like she's just gonna lay
We'll
into
come
you.
back better people. It'll
Wife
be-
carrying for desert.
Wife
Race.
carrying.
Oh no, no,
Yes,
no.
yes, 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 yes. With human sacrificing.
Oh, we
All
had to
right.
work it in there somehow.
Had
We
to.
haven't had a flaming llama in a long time.
We have not.
Gosh. Anyway.
But anyways, I was looking up like how much it costs to be in one of
Yeah,
these
I'm
races because
curious.
naturally I was very interested. I was like,
course.
oh yeah, you know, I'm definitely able to do this. So I looked up the prices. About $3,700 as an entry fee.
As an entry fee.
Entry fee, yes.
What other
30
expenses would you have to pay for?
Oh, I'm sure you have to buy all your provisions, your food, everything like that. I'm sure the gear that you wear is expensive too. What? That's
Your provisions. I like the emphasis
Is
on
it-
As opposed to your anti-visions, your pro-visions.
provisions.
I know. You said it, and I looked at Grant. I'm like, should I? Are you? Who's gonna say it?
I don't see what's
Because
wrong
it's
with that.
provisions.
Provisions.
Oh.
if you but provisions, that's
I'm a-
for the professionals.
Yes, not
I'm
the
an English major,
semi-visions
what?
or the college visions. It's
Oh,
fine.
how embarrassing.
No, the more you know. It's all good.
Oh yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, I'm sure like the gear that they have to wear too costs a lot of money. You know, like you gotta.
I
have
mean,
some
I'm sure at the
pretty-
3,700 they probably fly to, I'm assuming,
Oh.
to the next venue,
Yeah.
as it were.
Mhm.
They don't just take
Yeah,
a
they do.
raft or walk.
But then you're running for 155 miles, and that is just insane. I couldn't even do a marathon. I couldn't even do a half marathon, and I was a runner.
You probably could do a half.
Possibly,
It's
yeah.
only what, 12, 13 miles?
Yeah.
13?
Only.
Well, I'm not saying like it's a walk in the park, but I feel like
Compared to
Could maybe do
155
it if
miles
trained.
in a desert,
Yes.
I think a half marathon could be only a
Yep.
half marathon.
And every night there's like checkpoints that they have to cross to make sure that they're not dead yet.
that's
That's-
helpful.
that's safe.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how they'd run like the social media campaigns for those races. Be like, here we are, picture of the desert. Oh, waiting for the guest, picture of the desert. Lots of fun. Here they are, picture of the desert.
Yeah.
It's
They actually had a couple documentaries go where they would follow the people. I don't know how the cameramen did that. Yeah,
What are you doing?
They probably
great,
have
having
a
a good time.
Cool. Okay. Probably have a little dune buggy.
Yeah.
And they're just like.
Yeah, but I would imagine since this is a course over about 6 days,
Mos Eisley speeder.
I'm talking.
Oh, sorry. Star Wars though.
Wow.
Always wins.
You have about 22 miles that you have to cover every day. So I mean, in a day,
That's a marathon
not,
a day, basically.
Yeah.
A little under.
you have a whole day to do it. So I mean, like you can walk for a little
Sure.
bit if you want.
I
so
suppose.
not so bad.
No.
No, just in Antarctica. No big deal.
Yeah, Antarctica. I think I would sprint the Antarctica one, or try to
Yeah.
for like a mile and be dead. Be like,
Yeah, you'd be sweating and then you just
Yeah.
freeze.
The polar bears would just come and be like, "Ooh, a snack." Again, I'm wondering if there's things in place though. Like that's why I'm wondering if there's people that like follow the race so that you don't get jumped.
Oh, there is. Well, jumped by like a polar bear?
Yeah.
He's gonna take your money?
Hey man, those polar bears.
Oh yeah,
they'll
no,
mess
they
you
have.
up.
That's why they have the checkpoints. And if you look at
What
the
happens
pictures,
between the checkpoints.
oh my,
I'm just saying, if I'm running and a penguin
you're
goes
not
rogue
by
on
yourself.
me.
There are a lot of.
Have you seen the penguins of Madagascar?
Oh, give me
I mean,
a break.
They could fly out of an airplane and just wreck your day.
What if you got an exploding pelican?
Do you hear what you're saying, or is there just like roaring in your ears when you talk? Like,
Yeah.
as I was saying, there's a lot of people that do this, so they're all in kind of like a big pack.
Sure.
So like you're not the polar bear's not just gonna get, I'm gonna get Baxter. Ow. Yum.
Ow.
Ow, nom.
I'm glad we're having these like very intense
Sorry.
sports
This
conversations.
is huge.
This is a big deal.
Breaking news.
This is why I enjoy when she comes on because it pushes us out of our element, which is nice.
I'm good. This is my element. So
I
like
know.
your element about sports and whatever you do it.
You just sit in the intern chair and make faces at us as we make random comments off the air.
That is true.
Yeah, you do.
This is very true.
It's all good. But anyway, that's exciting though. I mean,
It
the
is.
four desert
It's crazy.
race.
It's just crazy.
How long has this been going on for you, son?
13 years.
13 years. And I saw
13
too. It
years.
says there's a maximum of 200 competitors that can be
Isn't that crazy?
allowed. So that's, gosh, I wonder. Like, so there's a website you go to, I'm assuming, and you can
Yep.
sign up and kind of go that way to it. Oh,
FourDeserts.com.
this- wow, that's very official.
So, of all of your viewers out there and listeners, FourDeserts.com if you want to run 155 miles in 6 days.
Should send it to our friend Danny Hoffenstein. He's a runner. Be like,
Oh,
Danny,
my
He would like that.
do it. He might actually do it.
Oh, that
The man
sounds
is,
terrible.
He's weird enough like that. I love it. These are the promotional pictures. It's like a bunch of people in a desert, a bunch of people in the Arctic.
yeah, I was
one
like-
random
I w-
guy in the middle of a mountain.
I was just gonna comment because I'm like picture of a desert.
Oh, polar bear
Picture of
eating
a
someone.
Oh!
Mad penguins.
Oh, look at that. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you can't
Graphic
show
images.
You can't show that. Anyway, well, thank you so much, Laura, for stopping by.
thanks for having me
we
again.
appreciate you, as we always do.
Always a treat.
yes.
Always a treat
Always
to
a
be
good
here.
time. You look lovely, as you always do.
Well, thank you. I got to go sing now.
Yes,
Chapel,
sing
so-
well, sing pretty, and don't get jumped by any penguins in the halls.
Oh,
They're fierce. They'll get you. They will. Anyway, Laura, where can the good people of Twitter find you?
you can find me on Twitter at internlaurabgss.
Yes, ma'am, and we appreciate all the social media stuff you do for us during the show as well.
I
So,
definitely enjoy doing it.
well,
It's
we
kind of fun.
appreciate you. Yes, and we're looking forward to it. So, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you as well. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Gosh, the things we talk about with her, I swear, it's exciting.
crazy.
It pushes us outside of our box, which is nice, thankfully. But we're gonna take a fast break, Grant. When we come back, we're gonna hit on the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs. The
playoffs!
The playoffs! They are in full swing. Golden State coming from behind. The Milwaukee Bucks down 0-3. Yeah, whatever. I'm over it.
Just win one. But I mean,
Not gonna happen.
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it and so much more when we come back. This is the Bax and Grand Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Backs and Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. Grant doesn't like to talk. You always talk. I need a button.
Well, you didn't tell me you were gonna hit a button. You always tell me.
I was trying to, and you're just like.
So you just hit it anyway?
I did,
just for fun.
I thought maybe you'd stop, but you didn't.
Yeah, need to tell me these things.
I just need I need a buzzer for you.
I'm
Grant.
telling you need a buzzer.
Shut it down.
We've been talking all week. I need my own little buzzer.
Good lord, I need just something. Air horn. Something.
I'm sure WLC would appreciate that.
They'll get over it. Like, people in class is like, what? Like, nothing. You're fine. All right, Grant. The NBA playoffs, a few series look to be almost wrapped up, in all honesty. Chicago over Milwaukee, they are up 3-0. Cleveland Cavaliers up 3-0 on the Boston Celtics, and the Golden State Warriors coming from behind to go up 3-0 on
against
the Pelicans.
The exploding Pelicans.
The exploding, ravishing, suicide-bombing Pelicans.
I don't remember what show it was, but it was last week's, I believe.
Was it last Wednesday or Friday?
Yeah, it was last week.
I think it was Wednesday because Laura was here.
Yeah, that was a great show. It was, it was one of the funniest ones. I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday.
I think you're right. Yeah,
last week's Wednesday show. If you want to know what we're talking about with exploding Pelicans, go check it out. It's good stuff.
Always a good time on the Backs and Grant Sports Show. All right, Grant. Some of the things that have jumped out to you during the playoffs so far have been what?
Well, there was one series that I've been kind of disappointed about. It's Portland against Memphis Grizzlies. Even though Memphis did have a better regular season record, they are technically the lower seed. They're the 5th seed against the 4th seed. Now, Portland this year have been kind of up and down for me, at least. They've had some injury problems, and that's why they're actually down 2-0 in the series right now. Is some significant injuries, and throughout the season they've been fighting that, and they just haven't been as consistent. So hopefully in the near future, very near future, those injuries will be able to not plague the Portland Trailblazers. So next season, it's kind of to this point looking already to next season because the series has not been going well. So hopefully next season they'll be able to go in injury-free. Maybe they'll be able to pull out a couple games, but a lot of people aren't seeing them making out of the series right now. So that's something to watch.
What about, I know the thing I want to talk about is the Washington Wizards going to Toronto and winning both of those games.
Right. That was really interesting for me. That's what I was going to say. So I'm glad that you said that. I was looking for what I was going to say.
Words.
Well, yeah, that especially for me as not a Wizards fan. I'm not a big Wizards fan. I'm not
John Wall.
I am not a John Wall fan.
Days,
even though I like the song. I don't like him as a player, but he did show up the second game. He dropped 30 points. He dropped a 30 bomb.
He did.
And it was a big game. He needed to step up, and it was a big deal for the Wizards. They took both games away. Now they're heading back to DC, and that should be an interesting setup. Hopefully Toronto can bounce back. But
yeah, because Toronto's not a bad team.
No, they're not at all.
Washington has just gotten very fortunate with some of their more recent games. But, looking across the other landscape, the Clippers and the Spurs tied at 1 apiece. The San Antonio Spurs, they are ageless, even though they're very old.
Yes.
Continue to
probably one of the older.
They play... Yes, I think they are the oldest team.
I would not be shocked. They're an old team.
I'd say between them and the Mavericks, they're both pretty darn old in all honesty. But looking across another series, Atlanta's up 2-0 on Brooklyn. Nothing too surprising about that. I think Brooklyn's just kind of happy to be there,
right?
In all honesty,
kind of like the Bucks right now.
Yes, yep. And then Houston's up 2-0 on Dallas as well. So the NBA playoffs continuing to shape up kind of the way a lot of people thought they would. Some more games in action this evening and this weekend as well. So make sure to catch some of those Houston, Dallas, Clippers, Spurs tonight. And then you've got the Grizzlies and Trailblazers tomorrow, and the Hawks and the Nets. So definitely check out those games, and let us know who you think is going to qualify for the next round. All right, Grant. NHL playoffs continue to happen. The series are starting to... One series is over, Grant. The Anaheim Ducks defeating the Winnipeg Jets. You're a little upset about the fact that Winnipeg didn't turn up as much as you thought they would, but...
Right.
Anaheim, though, is just a really, really good team.
And that is true. And so it was really disappointing to see the Jets get swept. They were really close on winning a couple games. There were only 1-goal games. But I do want to congratulate the Jets for having a fantastic
Yeah.
season. There's been a lot of weird things going on in the organization, like rebranding, stuff like that. I don't know the whole Jets history because it's really confusing. There's been a lot of moving. And I believe it was last season or 2 seasons ago, they just started rebuilding that organization, making it to the playoffs this year. They had to have a huge push, and the fan base, it was unbelievable. I watched both home games for the Winnipeg Jets in the playoffs this year, and it was absolutely fantastic. They lost in a heartbreaker, Game 3, and the fans were still cheering. There was actually a really good shot of a fan that was, like, really upset, like, bent over, just kind of, like, upset in a chair. And then he stands up and starts saying, "Go Jets, go," along with everybody else. Everybody was still there. They were just cheering him on. It was absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. And then last night, or 2 nights ago, when they lost, it wasn't as, like, dramatic because the Ducks had a few goal lead on them. So it was kind of like you could say it, and the fans were still up. They were still clapping. They were still cheering them on. They were still chanting, and it was a good environment.
Jets.
Not quite. But it was a great atmosphere. So congratulations to the Jets for a great season.
Yeah.
Unfortunate they didn't win a couple of games, but congratulations to them, and congratulations to the Anaheim Ducks for sweeping them and moving on.
It's not
next
an
to the
easy
series.
feat to do, especially in hockey. I think
definitely
people's like, oh, they got swept. It's like, well,
they got sweeped.
They got swept, sweptified.
They got swept.
Sweepted.
They got sweeped.
Sweeped. Either way, the fact
with your
is,
provisions over there.
Gosh, that was great. But no, congratulations to the Ducks. They will play the winner of the 2 names that are just a pain in the butt, basically. Oh no, not exactly. The Canadian, the Canucks. That's who they are. The Vancouver Canucks. And the Calgary Flames.
Yes.
Calgary is up 3-2 in that series.
Losing last night,
after
however.
losing last night, so they had an opportunity to close out the series, and it did not go.
But
so
they were
well for
in
them.
Vancouver,
yes.
So that could be something, because this series has been absolutely tough, and there's something the broadcasters were talking after the Anaheim game is that Anaheim, it was great for them because they needed to close out the series quick because a team like the Winnipeg Jets can fight back, and so it was good for them to be able to close out the series quick. And Vancouver and Calgary are duking it out. It's a really hard-hitting series, and it's going a lot longer than both teams would want to. It's most likely going to go to it's Game 6. It might go to a Game 7.
That makes for good hockey. I mean, yes, you might tire your players out a little bit more by going to 7 games, but even still. And how about the Nashville Predators, Grant? 5-2 on the Blackhawks last night.
And it was a close game at the beginning. It was a very close game.
You're right. Yep, I was following for some of that game. So the Blackhawks now have a 3-2 series lead, even with the Predators winning that game. That'll go to their Game 6 tomorrow night, so make sure to check that out on NBC. Looking across at some of the other series, you've got the Montreal Canadiens up 3-1 on Ottawa. Ottawa getting a game.
They did win 2 nights ago.
We kind of thought that might have been a sweep in that series, but Ottawa keeping themselves alive.
At least getting a game.
At least prolonging the evidence, doom and potentially. I don't see how Montreal could lose the series unless I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong.
Okay.
But last year the Kings were down 3-0 against the Sharks and came back and won.
But that's the LA Kings.
That's very true.
Yeah,
that is the LA Kings.
I think you would take the Kings over the Senators in that regard. If you pull an upset out of the 2 of them.
True. Yeah. Definitely true. Looking at Tampa Bay Lightning versus Detroit. Detroit had a 2-0. They were winning 2-0. Like last 10 minutes of the third period last night. Got 2 goals scored on them, and then the Lightning scored in overtime.
Lightning struck twice.
Yeah. This guy. So Lightning pulled up a big upset, I believe, at Detroit. And they were at Detroit, so that was big comeback for them. Another big series, and I want to call you out because the Blues 2 nights ago won 6-1,
You're right.
bringing the series 2-2 at Minnesota. Absolutely crushed them. And who did you pick to win that game? Who did you pick?
I picked the Wild.
And why? Why?
Because I thought they would win.
Yeah, you are wrong.
You're welcome. I will pick the Wild more often so that way the Blues win. So it was reverse psychology. If I pick the Wild, the Blues win in real life. Who cares about the fantasy leagues I play in? That's just for fake money anyway.
So the Blues are 2-2 of the series, going back to St. Louis tonight. Unfortunately, we ran out of time, so we're not going to be able to touch on all of the series. New York Rangers and Pittsburgh 3-1 up by the Rangers.
Yep.
And Washington Capitals are up 3-2 against the New York Islanders. So that's a little tight bit of a series, and
still
I thought
a possibility for two New York teams to play each other in the next round.
still a possibility.
Yes, indeed. Well, another exciting edition of the Bax and Grand Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Intern Laura was here today. Had a great time with her. We chatted about the NFL draft and Greg Hardy, and also Cristiano Ronaldo possibly coming to Major League Soccer in the year 2018. And then, as you just heard, we wrapped up the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs as well. For Grant Coppersmith, any final thoughts before we sign off, sir?
The Blues last night, or 2 nights ago, I need to say this.
Go fast.
The Blues 2 nights ago absolutely crushed them. I don't know, Devin Dubnyk has had a rough career before this season, so it'll be really interesting to see how he comes out tonight, because that loss was pretty much on him, because it wasn't like fails in the defenses. It was just he was not in the game. He got pulled after the 6th goal. So is that your button?
You're
buttoning
to,
me.
Silently buzz you. So
You're buttoning me.
I love you.
All right.
I love you. But
all right.
I'm
I'm just saying. So it'll be interesting to see how Devin Dubnyk performs.
Blues Wild tonight. Don't miss it. Puck drops at 9:30 Eastern on NBC Sports Network. Check it out. Grant will be watching with bated breath. All right. Remember, you can check us out on Facebook at the Bax and Grand Sports Show, Twitter at BG Sports Show, and then remember, use the hashtag on Instagram, the Bax Grand Sports Show, and it'll show up on SportsRadioAmerica.com. For all of you listening on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio and all the other multi-platforms, and then for you listening on SportsRadioAmerica.com as well. Thank you so much. We will check in with you guys again on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. For Grant Coppersmith and intern Laura, I'm Baxter Colburn. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe and be good. See ya!